Yesterday we stopped at inequalities. Excuse me. We stopped at inequalities and we looked at some. We were able to look at some symbols, some inequalities, symbols. We looked at some inequality symbols yesterday, and we said if we have something like this, x, so we said that this is x is greater than. We said that this is x is less than. X is less than a. And we said that this is x is less than or equal to a. Or equal. Then we also said that this is x is greater than or equal to a. Then this is x is not equal to. Not equal. Those are the symbols. Those are the various symbols of inequalities. Those are the various symbols of inequality, and I like the fact that Memunat had to bring some sort of examples that we should look at yesterday, which we treated. But I just did a recap of this. I'm not going to go back there.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yes, Jacob.
Sorry, sir. Did you just begin the class now? Because I've been requesting to join for a very long time.
We started by 6:05.
Okay. Please, secondly, your phone is covering the down part of the board. So,
yes, I will
may
take
not be
it.
able to see what you write.
Okay, I will not take it too low, because I'm recording with it with the other phone. So sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. All right, no problem.
Let me shift this up a bit. All right. I hope that's better now.
Yes, it is. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, so we are going straight. I will drop the recording. I've already uploaded it to YouTube. It took some time. In fact, I slept off because after your class, I had another class till about 11:30 yesterday. So, and today stress after church and all that. So, look, I couldn't upload it completely. I slept off. I couldn't upload it to YouTube so that it will be clearer because of the demand. So, okay, I know you don't have this thing. Just take of the recording. So the next we had on the list was absolute value. Absolute values. That's the next we have on the list, which is actually that was on number what? Number 8. Am I correct? We had number 8 as absolute values. So the absolute, we will say the absolute value of real numbers. Take note of this. Real numbers is its distance. This distance from zero on the number line. Take note of this number line. Yesterday I drew the number line for us. And the number it is always expressed. It's always expressed as a non-negative value. Non-negative value. So that means that absolute values, first, they are real numbers. Secondly, they are from a distance from the 0 point on the number line. From the 0 point of the number line. So, and absolute values is denoted by, this is how it is denoted. This is how a absolute value is written. This is our absolute value. So for those of us that were not here yesterday, this is a number line. A number line in between, let's say at the middle is 0. At the middle is 0. The right hand side is usually the positive part, and the left hand side is the negative part. So after 0 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to infinity. That's why I put that 3 dots there, to infinity. Then after 0 to the left hand side, we have -1, we have -2, we have -3, we have -4, we have -5 to infinity. It continues like that. So that I stopped at 5 does not mean that the number line ends with 5. It goes beyond that. You know, I'm just maximizing space. I'm maximizing space. Do you understand? So absolute values, the first thing we need to know is that they are real numbers, and its distance from 0 on the number line always expressed as a non-negative number. So the number line, the absolute value is always expressed towards this part. That's what it's saying now. It's always expressed towards this part. So even if it starts from this part, which is negative, it still goes this way, provided it's moving towards the positive part. Even if it is a negative number, it will become positive. Now let me take that again. An absolute value, even though it is returned or expressed as a negative value, but because the rule in respect to absolute values is that from the 0 point on the number line, which is this, it is always expressed as non-negative value. What that means is that, and I told you that the absolute value is denoted this way. So we can say the absolute value of x is equal to 2. Absolute value of x can be equal to 6. Absolute value of x can be equal to 22. Now, this expression, this statement means that if the absolute value of x is 2, that means this is how it should be written. So the absolute value of 2 is actually 2. The absolute value of 22 is actually equal to what? 22. The absolute value of, if this is 7, is actually equal to what? 7. So this point now, this expression means absolute. Remember I said it is denoted as this. So x there represents a real number. X in the absolute absolute value braces. The absolute value braces actually denotes any real number. And in this case, the real numbers must not be negative. So that means if the absolute value of -6, if you are asked what is the absolute value of -6, it is actually what? 6. That is plus 6. It is actually 6. So because no absolute value should return as a negative number. That is what I was explaining using the number line. So on the number line, from point 0 towards the right hand side, it is always what? Real. So even if an absolute value is given to you in a negative form, the result of the absolute value is what? Negative. I hope we all got that. I hope we all got that. Yes, Memunat.
Yes, I do. To me, I do.
Yeah, Memunat.
So you said
Just yes, go ahead, Memunat. Go ahead. All right, I can hear you, but what I mean, I can hear you. Your hand is up. If you have an absolute value minus 6, the result is going to be 6, positive 6. You don't necessarily need to write positive here. Once a number is just, without any negative sign, it means that it is positive. You don't necessarily need to write a plus by the side. Yes, Memunat, your hand is up. Can you speak out? Unmute your mic. Can you all hear me? Jacob, can you hear me? James, can you hear me? What's happening? Can you hear me? What's happening now? I don't know which. There's one number that likes to be calling me. I don't know.
yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's hear Memunat. Memunat, your hand was up, so let's hear her.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead,
Hello,
Memunat.
sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly. I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. I can
Although
hear
I'm in
you.
a noisy environment, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Very well, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. My question was the absolute value of 6 is minus 6. Good and fine. Then value of 6, I thought it should be minus 6.
Okay, now I want you to read. I think
they are supposed to be opposite. The value of one number should be the opposite of the other, positively or negative.
I want you to read this now. Follow me now as I read it. As I read it now, you can mute your microphone now. The absolute. Mute your microphone. Mute your mic. Now, I want everybody to pay attention to this. I am not very strong. The absolute value of real numbers is its distance from zero. Its distance from zero, whether here or there. On the number line, this is the number line, always expressed as a non-negative value. That's why I underlined real numbers, I underlined number line, I underlined non-negative. So if you are told what is the absolute value of minus 7, absolute value is written this way. This is how it is expressed. The absolute value of minus 7 is equal to 7. It is equal to 7. The absolute value of 7 is equal to 7. Not the other way around. Negative will not come here because it is always expressed as a non-negative value. Do you understand it now, Memunat? Did you get that now?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Very well. So it's always expressed. Absolute value, the result, let me put it this way, the result of an absolute value is always non-negative. In other words, it is always positive. Is there any other person with a question around that? Any other person with a question around that? Okay, so one thing I want you to familiarize yourself with is the number line and also the expression of absolute value. Another thing you need to know about absolute value, I think you should see this in your, so if you have the absolute value in this form, the result is that it will be inverted to this form. This is another thing you need to know. So the absolute value of A minus B is equal to the absolute value of B minus A. The absolute value of A minus B is equal to the absolute of B minus A. So let's say A. If A is 2 and B is 1, for example, so we have now, that means 2 minus 1 is equal to what? The absolute value of what? 1 minus 2. So this is what? 1 and minus 1. Minus 1. 1 and minus 1. Did you get that? 1 and minus 1. And the result is actually going to be just 1. Because the absolute value will always return as what? As positive. It never returns as negative. So let me change it now. If A is 4 and B is 3. Okay, let me say 2 and B is 2. So if you are told that A minus B, the absolute value of A minus B is equal to the absolute value of B minus A, what that means is that 4 minus 2 is equal to the absolute value. Once you see these braces, it's talking about absolute value. It is actually not the final point. That's not the end. The final point is that it will be expressed. Take note of this. The final result of every absolute value is that it must be expressed as a real number. It will be expressed as a real number. It will be on its own without being in a braces, in these braces now. Do you get? So B minus A is what? It's going to be what? 2 minus 4, which is actually equal to what? The absolute value of minus 2. And the final answer is what? Is 2. Did we get that now? Memunat, is that a new hand or former hand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well. Thank you so much.
All right. It's okay. All right. How about, is there any other person that is not cleared? If you are not cleared, please ask. So let's see if we can move to the next part. Is there any other person that is not cleared? It's nothing. I just. All right. So, for example, please mute your microphone. If your mic is disturbing us, I'll take you out of the class. You have an example in your course material, something like this. What you are being told here is the absolute value of x is less than 5. The absolute value of x is less than 5. And minus 5 is less than x. Minus 5 is less than x, and x is less than 5. So the question now is, what is the value of x? What is the value of x there? I want to take that again. The absolute value of x is less than 5. The absolute value of x is less than 5. And minus 5 is less than x. And also, x is less than 5. So what is actually the value of what is the value of x? That is the question. That is the question. So the absolute value there, since x being less than the absolute, so take note of this part. This part is telling you that it is the absolute value of whatever x is that is less than 5. Not just this now, not x is less than 5. It is the absolute value. So the absolute value could be what? Minus 5. It can be minus 4. It can be minus 2. It can be whatever. So the result is what you are looking at here now. So what we have on this other part is that x is less than minus 5, and also minus 5 is less than x, and x is less than 5. So what is the value of x there? Can anybody say something there? What is the value of x? Yes, Memunat is in. Okay, James. Okay, let's take James. James, go ahead.
Sorry, sir. I just want to give a trial. I think x is going to be minus 4. Sorry.
Minus 4. Okay. All right. Who wants to try again? Memunat, your hand is up, so go ahead. Okay, Jacob. Jacob, go ahead.
5.
Yes.
Minus 5.
Minus 5. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Dami Lola, go ahead.
My x is 4.
Okay, the x is 4. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Memunat, this is your hand that is up. Is it for the question? Is it to respond to the question? Okay, so let's assume her hand is that's by a mistake because she said she's on the road. Or okay, what is there? Like I told you, that the absolute value. This is the absolute value. It is not actually the real number. It is not the real value. It is the absolute value that is here. So it says if the absolute value of x is less than 5, the absolute value of x is less than 5, and minus 5 is less than x, and x is less than 5, you don't even need to bother yourself about here. Since the rule says that the absolute value of a negative number will be equal to what? A positive number. So that means the absolute value of x here is actually minus 5. So the answer there is minus 5. Minus 5. So because the question now is that the absolute value of x, what is the absolute value of minus 5?
Sorry, do I got it right?
Yes, you got it rightly. So that's what I want to explain now. I want to explain it now so that we can get it rightly. The question is around here. Don't even break your head about this part now. The question is around here. Like I told you, the law is that the absolute value of a negative number returns that same number to be a real positive number. That means, for example, if we have the absolute value of minus 5, it is equal to what? 5. So what they are telling you that 5 is less than, they are telling you that 5 is less than the absolute value of the same 5. So we can say now the absolute value So what is the absolute value of what is the value of x here now? You see the absolute value of x is less than 3. The absolute value of x here is actually what? Is actually minus 3. Did you get that? Because the value there is what? So is 3 less than minus 3? Is minus 3 less than 3? Yes. Minus 3 is less than 3. Is minus 5 less than 5? Yes. Minus 5 is less than 5. Did we all get that?
Yes, I do.
All right, James.
I do.
Okay, James.
Sorry, sir. Like, what we are trying to explain, let's say, for instance, if I have, like, if the absolute, if, let's say, like, 22 is less than x, does it mean that the absolute value of that x will be minus 3? I mean, minus 22.
Okay, all right. Let me put down what she just said. She is saying that if we have it this way, less than x. Is this what you mean, James? James, is this what you just said?
No, sir. If we have x as the absolute value, then they now say 22 is less than x. Does it mean that it's going to come back?
Is this what you mean?
Yes.
So
That the absolute value will be
yes,
minus 22.
exactly minus 22. That's what it means. Did you get? Because minus 22 is actually less than this. So the rules is just remember, once you see something like this, you just quickly remember that if they are telling you that the absolute value of this number is this. So there are two things now. I've just taken care of the first part. This first part. I've taken care of this first part now, showing us that the value there is minus 5. So if we come here now, we say minus 5 is less than the absolute value. The result of the absolute value is what? Is 5, because the x here is alone now, is a real number here. It is not standing as an absolute value. It doesn't have the braces again here. Did you see that now? So is this. Are you getting that now? Did you get that? So
Yes, sir.
yeah, 5 minus 5 is less than 5. Minus 5 is less than 5. That's what it just means. Minus 5 is less than 5. That is exactly what it means.
Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. If minus 5 is less than 5, then why is 5 less than 5 again?
Okay, yes.
That 5 less than 5.
Yes, that is why I just told you that the issue is not around this part. The issue is here. First of all, get what this value is. If you get already seeing here, minus 5 is less than 5 and less than this now. What they are telling you here is that the absolute value of x here is less than 5. So the question is now, what is this absolute value? What is the value of the absolute value here? So they are telling you now, this is actually, I brought up what you have in your course material. What you have in your course material now. That's what I brought up for you here now. This is actually not supposed to be. What you are bothered about is the absolute value of x. You are told that the absolute value of x is less than 5. The question in your mind now, what is the absolute value of x? That is what you are going to look at now. The absolute value is actually take note that the absolute value is what? Minus 5, less than 5. So because the absolute value of minus 5 will always return to be a positive number. If you say that the absolute value here, the value that is here within the braces is 5, for example, the question now, in line with what Memunat is asking, The question now is that what is the absolute value of 5? The absolute value of 5 is what? Is 5. So is 5 less than 5? That is the question now. Is 5 less than 5, Memunat?
5 is not less than 5.
Good.
They are equal.
Yes, that is where I was going. I intentionally brought up what you have in the course material there to bring up this. And so when I was explaining this part, you see, I was concentrating on here and this other part, not this one. Did you get now? So because sometimes all these things are typo. So what is supposed to be here now? Supposed to be something like this. Equal to. Did you get that? So you are supposed to have minus 5 is less than 5. Is less than x. What is the value of x that we got there is what? Is 5. The value of x is 5. So 5 is equal to what? 5. Is 5 not equal to 5? Like Memuna just said. 5 is equal to 5. Did we get that? I don't know if you got my explanation. This is just simple mathematics. Just the way it is. You handle it the way it is. Did we all get that?
Yes. Me, I don't understand what you mean.
Eh? Mr. Jacob, I didn't get you. Jacob, I didn't hear you here. I didn't hear you clearly. Okay.
I understand what you explained, I understand.
All right, very well. So let us go. Let me assume the quietness on every angle. Damilola, did you get it? Silver line. Silver line, did you get it? I like that name, Silver line. Very fine name.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Okay.
Got it.
Esele.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Esele, did you get it?
I'm just following, sir.
Oh, Esele. Oh, sorry. Okay, you were not in class yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So Esele, what you are going to do, the recording is very clear, as in very clear and very direct. It's self-explanatory. So I want you to take out the time. It's about an hour, 50. It's about almost 2 hours we had yesterday. So when I drop the link, I just want you to click it and sit down and a very quiet time. Just follow it. Gradually, you will get it right. And I would like you not to miss class next time, so we can flow.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Esele. O2, did you get it?
Hello, sir. It was not posted. The one of yesterday was not posted.
Yeah,
I was trying to.
Okay, yes, you actually came in late. I had mentioned that yesterday after the class we had, I had another class till about 11:30. So in fact, I was tired. So I couldn't upload it to YouTube because people demanded that the other link is sometimes difficult. So I will upload it to YouTube and drop the link so you can watch directly. So sorry about that. Thank you so much. So let's take the next point. The next point is intervals. The next point is number 9, intervals. Intervals is the next one that we have on the line there, intervals. So let me change my ink. All right, sorry, I was trying to change my ink. So interval is Awesome. Did you get that? Munat, please drop the hand, or is it a new one?
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so now we want to look at intervals. Intervals, I've just said that intervals is a set of real numbers. Like I always do, first thing to take note of is that intervals are real numbers. First thing to note is that intervals are what? They are real numbers. And they are between two given values. They are between two given values. They are between two given values. That's just a line that you need to take note of. Intervals is a set of real numbers first, between two given values. So I have said that there are different types of intervals, including closed intervals. So the first type of interval we have, this is number 1, closed interval. Then number 2, open interval. Then number 3, we have a half open interval. So this is open, this is closed, and this is half open interval. So there are 3 types of intervals. So intervals there are ways that they are actually represented. Let me allow you to take note of all this first. Then I'm going to wipe it out and explain it again using the actual symbols. So I want to take that again, that intervals is a set of real numbers. They are real numbers. After being real numbers, they are also between two given values. Intervals are between two given values. Between two real numbers. That's what it means now. Two given values are two real numbers. Then we have 3 types. From what I've listed here, we have 3 types of intervals. We have the open interval, we have the closed interval, then your course material, we call it open closed or closed open. That's the one I call half. Some textbook, we call it half open. This is called open closed or closed open. That's the third one, the one I'm calling a half open. The half open. So let me take it out. I want to wipe everything out. So I will now give you the illustrations. I'll now give you the various illustrations. So the first one, the first interval is what? What did I call it? Open interval. The open interval. Okay, the first is closed interval. Yes. The first is closed interval. Closed interval. This is how the closed interval is actually expressed. The closed interval is expressed in this particular form. How is it expressed? It is expressed this way. This is not bracket. This is looking like, this is called braces, not curly braces, not curly bracket. Curly bracket is something like this. Yeah, this one is just braces. These are braces. This is the first value. Remember that I said that what's it called? Intervals. They are actually real numbers between two given values. So this is the first value. I represent the first value as A, the second value as B. So, and the value of A and B are actually real numbers. So we can say A is what? 2. Sorry. A is 2 and B is 5. We can also say that A is 7 and 8, for example. These are examples. And this is how you write them. That is how you write them. Are you getting that? That's an example of closed. So the closed is like this. Then the next second one is what? What's the second one? Open intervals. Let me put the S there. The open interval is actually represented this way, brackets. So an example could be 3 and maybe 9, for example. Maybe another one, 5 and 8. 5 and 8. This is example of open interval. Open interval, the one they say bracket open, bracket close. Do you understand? Bracket open, bracket close. So this one uses brackets. The other one uses braces. This one uses braces. The closed one. This is a closed bracket. Then the third one is the one they call the half opened or open closed or closed open. Did you get that? So any of them is correct. Some textbook uses this one. What you have in your course material for exam purposes is open close or closed open. Open close or closed open. The updated what's it called? Language for the third type of interval is actually half open. Did you get that? So take note of all of them. So the half open or the open close. So this is why I want to show you why they say open close or closed open. So let me show you how the open close actually look like. So this is the open close. The first one that is open close is actually open bracket open and B bracket braces close. This is the closed. Remember, this is closed, so this is how closed look like. So then or closed open. That means it can also be like this. Closed open. Are you seeing that? Open, closed, closed, open. So, but the other way says it just call it half open, half open. So this one now is open half now. This other side is also open half at this other end. So that is actually for this thing. So Ola, yes, Ola, go ahead. Your hand is up.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Ola. Welcome.
Yes, sir. So these are half open and open close and close open.
Yes.
The bracket that you use bracket and braces.
Yes, I use bracket open. Yeah, I use bracket and braces. So for the first one that is open close. So let me just try to write it out this way now. Let me put it this way. Open closed. Open closed. Did you see that? Closed open. Closed open. Have you seen that now? I think that explains it better. Did you get that now, Ola?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's exactly how it is. So it means that we can have an example of the open close to be this way. Open 5, close 6, close open. Close open now will now be what? Braces 3, 2, close. It can be any value provided it is real. It's a real number. It's a real number. So forget that I'm writing 5 or 6, 3 and 2. It can be 25. It can be 55. It can be, whatever number. Excuse me. Please give me water. It can be, yes, Memunat, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. To some extent, I understand this one very well. The thing is that how can we illustrate this using an example to illustrate it?
Okay. Excuse me, using example. I have just used examples, but I'm going to go further by using inequalities to express it, or using set notation. Actually, I'm going to use set notation to express intervals. I can use set notation to just like what you have in your course material. That is where I am going now. So to answer Memunat, I have just shown you this is a closed interval. This is how a closed interval is written: 2, 5. These are the values now. These are the real numbers. These are the real numbers. So this is the, let's call this, these are the examples. Memunat. These are the examples for closed intervals. These are the examples for what? For open intervals. These are the example. This is the example. This is the example for open. And this is the example for what? For closed open. Did you get that now, Memunat?
Yes, sir. But if they are to give it to you as a question, how are they going to set it one? And the one that, if you check the course material, you will see the one that draw a Lombard line. You will see the open close and the close open. I just want you to just clear us on that.
Yes, that is where.
When you see, yes, how you can illustrate it, and if they give it to you as a question, how you can solve it.
Okay,
Thank you.
I was going there. I was actually going there. You understand? I said I was going to go there. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. Only numbers. No, the alphabet here. The alphabet are just representations. Intervals, closed intervals are numbers. They are called real numbers. That's what the definition says. Real numbers. It says real numbers. So let me bring up the number line. It's called a real line now, or real number. Number line. So if we have this line this way, and remember the point 0, and we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, then we have 5. We have 5 as those values. The other values here are negative values. The other values are negative. Maybe they didn't want to put it. You can read that as -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That's the other part. Then I think they drew up to 1, 2, 3, 4 from the course material. They drew 4 real lines. So from the real line, let me just use one to explain. If you have the first one, you had this shaded, not really shaded. Let me put it this way. Can be shaded here to 5. Another circle here to 5. So, and the line here is made wood, and we call this number line, or this real line. Is either number line, you call it, or real line. So you are asked now to express that number line or real line. You say express this real line in the form of intervals. What it is just saying that you already, this A1, the intervals of A1 is 2 and 5. Very simple. You don't even need to crack your head. It's just 2 and 5. Wherever the point is. So the interval, like the language says, interval is just something in between. So the interval is between 2 and 5. So A1 is equal to what? 2. 2 and what? 5. Did you see that? 2 and 5. It is actually, but another thing I would like you to get is when this circle, when this dot, this point here is not shaded. When this is not shaded, it is called what? What is this type of interval? Anybody, what's this type of interval? Yes.
This is open.
Okay.
No, open. This is closed.
Yes.
Open interval.
Yes. This is what?
Closed.
Are you sure?
It is open.
It is open.
Sir.
Yes, this is open. So this is open. Remember, the bracket is the open.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Open
Yes,
interval.
it is. It's open. Thank
Yes.
you.
So I'm drawing another one. Let me call the second one A2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. A2, interval A2 is actually where? 1 and 4. So what is this? What's this type of interval?
Closed interval.
Yes, so this is a closed interval. Closed interval. So what I want you to note here is that the closed interval, when you see, because they will not give you like this, they will just say, maybe when they draw this real line, this number line, and shade it, you see it, represent it as interval. So like Memunat was saying, how do they ask the question? How would they ask the question? Once you just see this, oh, you should just be happy. It's very simple. You understand? But even if it is very simple in your eyes, the first thing you need to know is that the unshaded circle that is showing the point of interval on the number line, the point of interval on the number line is actually what? Open, like the name implies. So the open O. Maybe that's a simple language I should use. Closed. Did you see that? This one is closed, this one is closed. So wherever the shade or wherever the circle is pointing on the number line, that is the first interval. Wherever, so if this circle here is on 4, the second interval will be what? Will be 4. Did you get that? The second interval will be 4. So let us go to the next one. Let me draw another one. Let me call this one now. Let me call this one A3. Let me call that one A3. So if we have that one and it is here and say here, and this one is shaded, the line, and this is not shaded. This is not shaded. A3 is therefore what? This
Closed open.
yes,
Closed open.
closed open. So how do we write close? This way. So what is the interval? What's the interval of the closed one?
2. 1. 2
1.
is okay. 1. Sorry.
Yes, it's under 1. So pay attention to details. Like I've always said, you put your comma. So how about the other one, the open? What's the open? 5. Exactly. So what do we do there? This. Did you see that? Very simple. I don't even know why they are bringing all this one self. Very simple. Did you see that? So that's just how to identify it. So, I mean, the other one, so this is now what? What is this now? This is a closed open interval. Closed open interval. So if I call this now A4, if I call this A4, and this is like this, so what is going to be the interval now? What is the interval? Of
Open,
A4.
close.
Okay.
Open,
Open, open, close. So what is the
one.
open
The
one?
open is one.
And the what? The close is what?
Close is three.
Absolutely. So you see, the thing is very simple. You may even look, okay, silver line. Was your hand up or you were answering?
I was answering. It was a
Okay,
mistake.
awesome. Good. Very good. So can we see that this one is very simple? Very simple. It's just easy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ola.
Yeah, sorry, sir. What about if the question now come in the negative way, because that is the negative side of the line?
Okay.
It's going to be the same thing.
All right. So I want you to revert back to the definition. The definition actually told you that they are real numbers. So real of intervals. Intervals are always real numbers, and real numbers are always positive. So you won't see it as negative. Did you get that?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. That's a very beautiful question. Very beautiful one. So intervals. Another thing you would see in respect to intervals so how many of us are getting A in this semester?
One.
How many of us will get A? Nobody's answering. Are we not waiting for A's?
I wait for A.
You are waiting for A. Awesome. So only Mr. Jacob in this full class like this.
Oh, A is ours, so.
Okay. Because to me, the lecture hasn't it been very sweet?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. The lectures has been very sweet as far as I'm concerned, and very comprehensive. So if you just follow it, I think what you should even do before, and I want to assure you people, before the exam, I'm going to do what we call deep revision. That's what I do with other, groups that I teach to. I always do revision, heavy revision before the exams. So, and many a times, most of the revision questions I bring up is what, even if like the last semester exam that they had to they revamped, like they reworked on the what's it called, exam data bank, the questions that are there. Most of the revisions I did with people, they saw it came up and they saw it. In fact, they were just going to pick the answer without even solving. So we are going to do revisions before the exam. So I'm very sure nobody is going to have carryover as far as you are in this group. I'm sure of that by God's grace. So
Amen.
all right. So we have
Thank you, sir.
all right, thank you so much. A1. Can somebody read this for me now? We have done set. So I want somebody, Jacob, read that for me. How do you read that? Read it in set language, no other language. Okay, Silverline, you want to try? Silverline, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can I try?
Okay, go ahead, Ola. Try. Use set language to read it.
Okay. Z is a set of AZ such that.
No, that's not Z. That's not Z. Look at it very well. That's A1. And the content there is X.
X. Okay.
Okay.
X is a set of A1 such that 2 is less than X5. Bracket close.
Okay.
Okay, let me try.
Okay, Memona, try. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ola. A1 is a set of S such that 2 is less than S and 5, something like that, or 5 or 1 is less than S. Is it S5?
Okay, this is sorry.
S5.
This
okay.
is sorry. Less than, sorry.
It's less than. It's less than S less than 5.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I saw James's.
That is A1.
Yes.
Okay. A1 is a set of S such that 2 is less than S and less than 5. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So James, go ahead, James.
Miss Mamuna, she's right, sir. It's just that she did say that X is also less than 5.
Okay.
That was because they didn't indicate that
Yes.
less than them.
Okay. So
I just think maybe she can re-say it again. She was right.
Okay. So you'll be surprised to hear that I say Memuna missed it somewhere. She missed it. So this is how you say it. Ola almost got it. This is how you say it. Memuna said A is a set of. Yes? You want to say something? Okay, silver line rather. Silver line. Go ahead, silver line.
Okay. X is a set of A1 such that 2 is less than X and X is less than 5.
Awesome. That is just it. That's it. So Memuna, did you get that now? So this is how you started,
No,
Memuna.
She should repeat it again.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. Silver line, repeat it now.
X is a set of A1 such that 2 is less than X and X is less than 5.
Awesome. That's it now. So,
Okay.
yes.
But why the inverse? Why the S referring to A instead of the A referring
No,
to
that is the language. You don't say. So you say X. X is a set of A. A is the set. So you don't say A is a set of X. So because X is an element, everything here, everything within the curly brackets are elements. All that you have here are elements. And this is the set. Did you get that? So that is why she read it this way. So you have to refer the elements to the set. You don't refer the set to the elements. You refer the elements to the set. So you say X is a set of A1 such that 2 is less than X and X is less than 5. That's the way to read it. Did you get that now?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
I don't know, is this another room concerning the interval aspect?
Very
because
well.
we are meant to know that when reading the set, like from the onset, where we are taking lectures on the set, we are meant to know that if it's like this, we are supposed to start from the first set, which actually represents the main element, which is the A1 is equals to A1 is a set of S. I don't know if it's only applied in this interval, this format now. You read it.
Okay. Now let me respond to that. You said when you started the lecture. Would I say when you started with me? I'm bringing back the question to you.
Yes, not today. As in the first lectures we take on set. So reading the set is actually that first element outside that will refer to the element inside. Meaning
right.
the main set, the set what you denote the set with will be the one to refer to the element inside the set.
Okay, so
like S, the set is a set of S such that S is like that. So I don't know if this way of referring back to the element outside is just for this. It's a rule guiding the interval itself. Yes.
Yeah, let me come there. You know that X belongs to that A1.
Yes.
Sure, you understand? The X now belongs to the A1. So you want to call it now, you call the X that belongs to the A1, not the A1 belongs to the X. Exactly. I don't know how you get it now.
Yeah, she got it. Ola, she got it. Now the thing is that she is saying that I said that in the previous one we're actually talking about sets before we came into this number system. Let me call it now. That the way we read it before was A is a set of X. But I want to correct that, Memunat. You need to go and play the previous videos. If you go play the previous videos, what I have always said is that X is a set of A such that X this is such that. So the way I've always read it is that you refer the element to this. So because what you are seeing here, this is not just interval, this is a set. What you are seeing now is a set. We are just trying to bring it up to explain sets for you, which is what I am going to explain here. I'm just explaining the elements. That's what I want to explain to you now. The content, the members of this set is what wants to be explained to you now. Just like we use number line to explain intervals for you. So it is nothing different, both in set theory and here. The same way you are reading it here, that's the same way you read it in a set theory. So I want you to refer back to the video. So if you observe anything contrary, you can call my attention and I'll correct it. But I want to assure you that the correct way to read it is X is a set of A such that 2 is less than X, X is less than 5. Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you very much for the explanation and the clarification. But there is something that I'm still missing out. Like, let me call out a figure out for you so that you will read it out for me to understand.
All right, go ahead.
Then,
Go ahead.
okay, B equal
Mm-hmm. Yes.
curly bracket open,
Mm-hmm.
S such that is slash.
Mm-hmm.
Such that S is even number. Then close the
Curly brackets. Okay.
bracket. So how are we going to read this?
Okay. X.
Using the set format.
Yes.
The main set, the beginning of the set, because I actually picked this from the material.
Yes. X is a set of B such that X is even number. X is a set of B such that X is even number. So you don't say B is a set of S. B is not a set. See, look, when you are even reading out the language, when you are reading it out now, when you are saying it with your mouth, if you say B is a set of X, what you are trying to say is that X is the set and B is the element. That's what that means. Did you get it now?
Yes, using logic to do it, yes, you are correct. But the material, the way the material read it is B is a set of S, such that S
Where in the, what page? What page?
That you were taking us.
What
That
page?
was
What page in the
told us.
material, please?
I don't know. That was what I heard. I don't know about the rest. If there's anybody that is actually maybe taking it the way I'm taking it now, to just speak out so that we'll clear it once and for all. Because that is what the material is saying. And even that first time that I read it out, that was what I read out when you asked me the previous
Okay, Memona,
I don't know why.
let me correct you before I refer to others. Let me correct you. Maybe when I told you read out a set from the material, for example, like what you are saying, if you are read it saying that B is a set of X such that X is even number, and I just went ahead to write, does not mean I was agreeing to what you were saying. If that is what we are saying now, you understand, there's nothing to dispute about. But what I want you to get now is that the standard, go and check every material, go and look for videos, go and ask any lecturer, because I've been in this thing and I know it very well. Do you get? So this is how you read it. Like you said, I like that language you use, logically. If you say B is a set of X, what you are saying that X is the set and B is the element. Remember that these are the elements. So the way to read it The way to actually read it, you say X is a set of B. It means you are saying that X belongs to B. X belongs to B. That is just what it means. So let's not dwell on this for too long.
All right, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Very well.
That means the material is wrong because that is how the material reads.
Exactly.
Thank you for
Exactly.
clarifying.
Yes, it's wrong. Yes. So if you see, look, let me tell you people the truth. We have come to this point. I'm not a professor, but by the grace of God, we've studied to the point where we pick some errors from the material. We even refer back to most times, the tutors and say, what do you, facilitators rather, we say, what do you say about this? And they correct the errors from the course materials. I feel by now they should update it. So, but the right language is X is a set of this. So that's the way. Let us go. So let us take care of this now. X is a set of A such that 2 is less than X and X is less than 5. X is less than 5. So what we have here, what we now have here is that, what is X in this occasion? Because you are told that X is an element in set A. X is an element in set A. And X, they are telling you that X is less than 2. And also, X is also less than 5. X is less than 2. And X is also less than 5. So that means the value of X is actually that it is less than 2 somewhere. Remember that we are talking about intervals. We are talking about intervals. So intervals in this case now means that is equal to 2. Is equal to what? 5. The interval of 2 is equal to 2. The interval of 5 is equal to 5. Remember that this thing you are seeing now in your course material, after they expressed it in this way, they now went ahead to express it in the number line, what I just showed to you. Look at your course material very well. You are going to see it. So remember A1. What was the value of A1 that we got? Okay, though I used my own example. But if you check your course material, you will see in respect to the intervals, the value of A1. What's the value of A1? Anybody? The value of A1 is 2 and 5. The value of A1 there from the real line, from the number line. Silver line, are you there on the material? I can see you are about to say something.
Sir, it says here X is less than 5. But here you are putting X.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to say now. That is what I'm trying to say to you now is that this is referring to intervals. In the case of interval here, what is actually supposed to be written there now, in the case of interval is that X is less than 2. Here, from the number line, that is why I'm referring you back to your course material, because sometimes some of all these things bring some sort of confusion to students. Go to page 49, please. Go to page 49 so that I can explain this thing to you so you can all get it. Page 49 says A1. A1 there is X is a set of A1 such that 2 is less than 2 is less than X and X is less than 5. They now said, notice that the first set contains only the points that lie between 2 and 5, with the possible exceptions of 2 and or 5. We call this set intervals. Did you see what they said in the manual there? They said we call these sets interval. The set is not just sets. In this case here now, they are called intervals. That is why, since they are called intervals, how do we denote intervals? Intervals are denoted like this. So you are told that X is less than 5. That means X is an interval. X is an interval in this matter now. That is what they are telling you in the course material. That's how to read it and understand. So if X is an interval, So the interval, they're telling you that the interval, the first interval is what? 2. So that means the interval 2 is equal to what? 2. Are you getting my explanation there now? Yes, Iroro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I understand that -2 is equal to 2, right, sir?
Yes.
The interval -2 is equal to 2.
Yes.
But you're saying that 2 is equal to 2 itself.
Of course. See, there are two things. Maybe you didn't get the first explanation concerning interval. In respect to interval, the interval of 2 is 2. The interval of -2 is also what? 2. The definition of interval says that the definition of interval says that interval must be returned as a real number, and it is non-negative. It is non-negative. So what I want you to know is that about mathematics, you must understand every rule that is given. What is interval?
It's good, sir.
Yes.
It's good, sir. I get it. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Silverline, you wanted to say something. Silverline, you wanted to say something.
No, I get what you're trying to say.
All right, very well. So that is just what I want each and every one of us to get. So I'm just using this to take you back to the course material. So in this case, now that you are seeing this in underneath interval, so in case you see a question and they refer to real line or number line, and they said here, let this set be an interval. Let this set be an interval. Represent this now in interval form. What this actually means is that A1 is actually what? In respect to the first one now is a what? Is 2 and 5, which is what? This is what? A closed. This is what? Open interval. Did you get that? So when you see something like this, it means that it is what? Open interval. How about the next one? The next one on the list there is A2. The next one there, represented in set form, is A2 x. Sorry, let me write the curly bracket well. So in respect to interval, A2 here, A2 is actually a what? A closed interval. Where you see this inequality sign, this one now, this sign shows that this particular set, the return value in interval form is going to be open if it is x is less than 2 and x is less than 5. Sorry, 2 is less than x and x is less than 5. It's going to be open interval. But for the other one that you are having this kind of inequality sign, 2 is less than or equal to x and x is less than or equal to 5. What do you have? This is now going to be what? A2 is what? Equal to what? A closed one, 2 and 5. Are we getting that? So assume this to be a rule. Just assume this to be a rule. So in case you see this, if you see it like this, so let me change something now. Let me do this. In interval form, represents that set A1 in interval form. Anyone very quickly represent set A1 in interval form very quickly. Okay, can you take that? Represent set A1 in interval form.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me try.
Okay, go ahead, Memunat.
Okay, is this curly bracket now?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
curly bracket 7,8 with the same curly bracket.
Okay, no, Memunat, it is open bracket.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry,
yes,
sorry.
open bracket, yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
open bracket. Thank you.
Very well. Did you get that? That's exactly how it is going to be in this case. So it's going to be this way. So if we have it in this form, so the first rule is that when you see this sign, the less than sign, it is what? It is an open interval. In respect to interval, it is open interval. For this sign, it is what? Closed. So let me bring up the next one. The next one is A3. Curly bracket open. The next one there, A3, is actually the one that is represented in the number line this way. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For A3, this is the one that is represented this way. And the first, this one is shaded. This one is not shaded. This is A3. This one is not shaded. So you can see now that you remember A1 now. A1 was with what? The less than sign. And A2. Remember that A2 had the what? The less than or equal to sign that gave us a what? A closed interval. So A3 is actually going to be what? A open.
Open and close.
Exactly, I like that now. We are getting it now. Open and close. So that means A3 is actually what? 2 and 5. Open 2 and close 5. So how about A4? A4 is now the other way around. This is A4.
A4 will be closed open.
Yeah, so A4 will now be what? Closed open. I like this. I like this that we are all getting it now. So you see, the thing is just simple. You just look at it once you understand the rules. So now I assume we have all gotten the rules. The rules, rule number 1. So this is how you are going to do it. Like when we want to spell, when we're in primary school. When we're in primary school, we want to spell we want to list the color of a rainbow. We say Roy beef. Roy beef. I think that's if I'm not mistaken. Roy beef. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this was our own way of remembering the colors of rainbow. We say Roy beef. So we say red, yellow, orange, green, blue, indigo, violet. Are you getting that now? So what I want you to do now is deploy your own way of understanding or memorizing the rules for open interval, close interval, open close interval, and close open interval. So if I would say this is the style, so we can now say for the first one, which is what? Open interval. Open interval is what? Did you get that? 2 less than. closed interval. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Then closed open and open close or open close. So what is open close now? What is open close from what we have done so far?
Open close is the less than and the less than or equal to. The less than or equal to is the close. While the first one, open close is less than, then the close is the less than or equal to.
Okay, good. So have you just seen? So we have just formed the formula on our own. Then we can now have peace and go our way. You don't even need all those things that we're writing like this. You just put this one. Once you say, okay, open close is this sign and this sign. Close open is this sign and this sign. Open interval is this sign and this sign. Close interval is this sign and this, you are good to go. So once you just see it in the exam, you say, very simple. I don't even need to give myself strength to begin to write it in set form. Memona, did you catch that logic now? James, Silverline, Damilola, Esele, everybody, did you catch the logic? All right.
Yes,
Very good. So let us. Okay, James, yes, James, go ahead.
Sir, concerning this, I understand what you said, but I want to also ask this question. Can they also use greater than sign in place of the less than sign? Can they use the greater than symbol to
denote it? Yes.
Denote it,
yes. I get. So, okay, in respect to interval, this is what is obtainable. That is just the answer to it. So in respect to interval, what you see on the board is what is obtainable. Do you understand that, my answer? Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got it.
Okay. So I want to plead that we close here for today. I'm very strong. I tell you the truth, I'm very strong. So thank you so much for your time. In fact, I enjoy every moment with every one of you. Always a very good time.
Please, sir.
Yes.
Please, sir, can you please post the recorded session, please?
Very well. I will post it. Just be rest assured, you will get both of them. Both of them, you will get it.
Yeah, with this your teaching, the TMA mass was just like a child play.
Oh my God!
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank God. Thank God.
All right, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Bye bye.
Sorry, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Bye bye. Cindy. Bye.